Good afternoon, everybody. It is Monday afternoon, and we are moving now into another week. But one of the features of last week was that secondary question in the discussion where I asked about a single very valuable game. And thank you all for attempting an answer. Nobody got the answer I was thinking of. Many got the answers that I expected. And most of your explanations were very sound. But before I reveal the absolute answer, I think you wrote an explanation of why I asked it. And when I did ask it in the original video, that came from last summer, in fact, was to come out with a way for us to explore some issues, explore some concepts, and to really think about something in a different way. And also to carefully listen to the question and understand what we were being asked. So, amongst the answers we got were the obvious to me, because I've seen it a zillion times when I asked this question of the Super Bowl. But let's think about the Super Bowl for a minute. Yeah, the Super Bowl does have some bonus pools that go to players. They're significant to us mortals, to us who are, just the average working person. But to a professional athlete, they're nice, not fabulous, but nice. Okay, the winning teams don't get any prize money, so to speak. They're still going to be subject to the same contracts in football, in football and TV contracts, which we've learned are their most important sources of revenue. Sure, they may get some more exposure and happier fans buy more merchandise and things like that, but it's not a whopping amount of money compared to what we're going to be seeing, and it's not guaranteed. All right, so great answer and good sound reasoning, not the answer we were looking for. Many people suggested that it's a playoff game in, say, something like Major League Baseball or basketball, which either wins you a championship or advances you to the next round. But a lot of the conditions I just spoke about with the Super Bowl also apply. There may be some bonus pools. There may be some few things of advanced exposure and things like that. But again, most of your revenue for next year, for the next season, is pretty well planned. It's going to be what it is. You're still going to be in the same league that you were in, all right? And the individual players, their benefit more comes from their bargaining power for new contracts, et cetera, et cetera. But again, it's not that single lump sum that is just going to come your way. Many people, I think, more than I was surprised to see it happily, because I'm an old soccer guy. Started thinking about soccer, and fortunately, we didn't have any mentions of the World Cup, which is a different animal, right? It's quadrennial, and so there were several mentions of the UEFA Champions League. A very logical answer, a very real answer, and in that tournament, Champions League, which you must qualify for, well, there is literally prize money. And your participation, how long you last and up to the eventual championship, determines how much you win. Not just with added exposure, etc., like that, and a few sharing of revenue type things. And it's significant. The actual final is worth about 4.5 million euros to the winner. That's no small sum. That's today's exchange rates. I'm going to say $6 million. That's a pretty hefty payout for anybody. And if a team goes from qualifying for the group stage coming all the way through, they're going to win somewhere around $80-90 million. We're getting up there now. A couple of people speculated about some individual events, and if you listen carefully to the question, this was not an individual event. This is a team sport. So, with all those explanations and caveats out there, where am I going? Well, as you see, one of the things I'm saying about things not being the right answer were that they were situations where we were still looking at either speculative potential side benefit money or actually participating in a prize pool, and it didn't always happen, and it's not always contracted to be that way. We did talk about playoffs. Most of us did talk about it being some sort of playoff situation, some sort of end of season competitive game. And I did mention it as being a postseason game. Well, the answer that most economists and most sports finance people look at is this. It has to do with the system of promotion and relegation in soccer, in world soccer. And it doesn't happen in the US, it happens in the world leagues. In the English system, in the English Football League and Football Association, we have the Premier League, the major league, and currently the most prominent soccer league in the world. Premier League is a 20-team league. And at the end of the season, the 3 teams that finish last, 18th, 19th, and 20th, are dumped from the league. They are, quote, sent down. They're relegated is the technical term, and they are sent to a lower division of English soccer. That division is now called the Championship, the English League Championship. Now, Premier League and Championship used to be First Division, Second Division. So now you're coming into the Second Division, the AAA, if you will, of English soccer. Well, what happens now? Those teams that are sent down their slots are open. So what happens? The teams that finish in the top end of the championship move up. First place advances automatically. Second place advances automatically. Third, fourth, fifth, and sixth have a playoff, a 2-game playoff, semifinal and final. The winner of that final gets the 3rd spot that's open in the Premiership. Because of contractual obligations, particularly TV revenue and participation in other competitions, that winner of that game will be almost guaranteed in direct payments to it about £300 million. Okay? About $350, $400 million. Directly. Can count on it. Take it to the bank. That's the single most valuable game. And as you can see, it was a playoff game, but it wasn't even a playoff game to win a championship. It was a playoff game to sneak into a higher league. Reason I'm bringing this up is, 1, you had to do a little digging to find this out. Number 2, you had to think about things a little differently. Number 3, we had to listen to the question specifically. And number 4, what it does is illustrates some of the ideas we've been bringing on about revenue streams. And really, the biggest revenue stream worldwide in just about any major sport are broadcast rights, television rights. This is what's important. So again, it's not the people that are coming to the stadium, it's the people that are sitting on their sofa or going to the pub or whatever it is and watching those games. Those are what drive those fees and those revenues. So here we have a game that is regularly scheduled this year. We know it's going to happen. We don't know. We won't know for another month or so who the players are going to be. The players are not getting extra money for this game, not of any appreciable amounts. Okay? Players actually sometimes begin to move, and we won't even talk about how we do transfers and free agency and everything in football, in British football. But it's a complex situation where this game may affect how do some players not want to play in the championship. They want to stay up in the higher league where their contract will probably be a bigger contract. Lots of things go on. Lots of issues come in here. And what I was trying to do when I created the question and asked people to look at it is try to create a situation where you really have to think expansively. You really have to think about things in a way that you don't normally do. And that's one of the points we're trying to do in this class. So I hope you had some fun with it and in bearing with my long-winded explanation here, but it had a purpose besides being just a little brain teaser. It's something out there to help us understand that there are myriad ways of doing things. And what we think we know, like I said in my earlier kind of finger-wagging video, don't go with what you think you know. Go with what you can learn and what you can find out and what you can ask about. And with that in mind, I will get to looking at the discussions, and we'll probably have a much more brief chat in a few, maybe even an hour or two, about where we're going next week. Okay, thank you very much.